So if you want to be a great disc golfer and shoot low scores, you need to have a neutral, straight flying mid-range in your bag. The ability to hit gaps, to throw straight, to have a disc land soft and flat, to be able to throw on a rope is one of the most important shots in any disc golfer's arsenal. So it begs the question, what's the best disc for the job? There's been a lot of conversation around neutral, straight flying mid-ranges recently, thanks to Simon's switch from Discmania over to MVP and the way in which he's talked about the Hex. This disc has become one of the most popular discs on the market. Simon has compared it to the perfect MD1. Likewise, Drew Gibson, who's known for throwing straight neutral mid-ranges, recently released the Supra, was his company, finish line disc, which is supposed to fly like the beat-in red buzz that he's so famous for throwing. Now, since I started playing disc golf, I've been throwing what's arguably the most popular disc in this category, and that is the Buzz. Now, when I first got introduced to disc golf, Discraft was at its peak of popularity. Paul Macbeth had just signed, and so the Buzz was one of the first discs I ever got introduced to. So naturally, the Buzz made the bag. And I realized recently that I've never really challenged the Buzz for that slot. I've always just thrown it and assumed it was the right disc for the job. But with the popularity of the Hex and now the Supra hitting the market, it got me thinking it was probably time to put these three discs up against each other and see how they stack up. So we're out here at Liberty with 5 discs today. We have 2 Buzzes, 2 Hexes, and 1 Supra. Now the reason we have multiple of these is because I have a really beat-in ESP Buzz that's been in the bag for a long time, and my guess is this is gonna fly most similar to the Supra and maybe the Hex. And then I have a fairly new Z Buzz that I expect to be more stable. Now you can see on some of these shots right here that the Z Buzz is by far the most stable of the lot. If I get it out flat, it's gonna push and then get to hyzer and have kind of a strong finish to it. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the Supra is by far the most flippy of these 3. Now the Hex seems to sit somewhere right in between. The Hex, which is fairly new to me, I haven't thrown it a ton, so it's not super beat-in, flies pretty similar right now to my beat-in ESP Buzz, somewhere right in between the Supra and the new Z Buzz. It'll definitely push straight for a long time. It's gonna have a little bit of a finish at the end, and if you get it out on Annie, it's gonna do a good job of holding those lines. I will say though, just based on hand feel for these discs, the Hex definitely feels the best in the hand of the 3. It really just seems to kind of fill out my hand, which gives me a lot of confidence in the grip, a lot of confidence in that hand feel, and I really like that. The Supra, while it doesn't feel bad in the hands, it does feel good. I have to say this plastic is a little softer. This is the launch edition. I believe it's called the Forge plastic. A little softer than I tend to like. It's just got a little bit of gumminess to it, which I feel like when I pull through, it just makes me feel a little less confident in the disc. And then a Buzz is a Buzz. Everybody knows what a Buzz feels like. It definitely fits the hand nicely. It feels pretty good, but it's not crazy the most comfortable disc you've ever thrown. The Hex, on the other hand, it just really feels great in the hand. Now, as far as any of these discs going further than any other, honestly, I don't throw consistently enough to really be able to make that judgment. But, you know, I was able to get good results with all of them. So here's what I'm gonna say. I think if you are looking for a flippier disc that you can get on a little bit of hyzer, get it to flat, maybe get a little bit of turn, get it to land nice and soft, and you want to be on the flippier end of the neutral spectrum, the Supra is the disc for you. Drew talked about modeling this disc after a really beat-in Buzz, that it would be new out of the box and have that flight to it. The Supra is a great disc. I really like what Finish Line did with this disc. I think it's a really nice stability, not understable, not overstable, just really nice and workable and neutral. Now the Hex, I think once this disc seasons in for me, I think this is gonna give me a really great flight. It still does right now, but it has a touch more finish than I would like, and that could just be my arm speed. Like I said, I'm putting this anywhere between 260 and 300 depending on how I hit it. So once it seasons in, I think it's just gonna give me a little bit more of a softer finish. It's gonna finish a little straighter as opposed to having that stable finish at the end. The Buzz, What I love about the Buzz is it's been around forever. You know it's reliable. You can get it in so many different plastic types and variations, which means you can get a Buzz to do everything you would ever want a Buzz to do in your bag, and it's just old trusty. This disc has been in my bag as long as any other disc. It's my go-to. I'm always relying on it. I love this disc, so it'd be hard pressed to take this out. However, the Hex feels so good in the hand, I can't imagine not having it in the bag. I think this has got to make the bag. What I have to figure out though is, does it replace my Buzz? Does it complement my Buzz? That's going to be a tough decision for me to make. I'm going to have to throw these a little bit more in some actual rounds to see kind of where I'm feeling and what's most confident. But at the end of the day, these are 3 incredible molds, and I see why so many people are so excited about these discs. Being able to throw straight, have the disc finish flat and soft anywhere around that 300 mark range, I think is one of the most important shots in disc golf. I think it's also one of the most challenging shots in disc golf, and that's why having the right disc to complement that throw can be so important. So I'd love to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments below what your neutral straight flying mid-range of choice is. If it's one of these 3, let me know why. If it's a different disc, maybe the MD1, I'd love to hear about that too. Hey, I appreciate you guys hanging with me today, checking out the channel. Like and subscribe if you want to. It helps me out a lot. Ultimately though, I'm just glad you're here. So my name's Andrew, and remember, the journey is the destination, and I'll catch you in the next one.